What does it mean to have mercy? To show mercy? A few years ago, and yes, I realized that I am vintage, and you'll understand why that's a point in just a moment. I was walking into a store, and I'm not going to mention the name of the store, but it was a store that I frequented often because I am a techie. I love technology, love electronics and things like that. So I was already in a bad mood and going through some bad things personally. And I was accosted, I tell you. I was thinking of making a large purchase, and I flashed some money, which is something I never ever do, let alone I rarely ever carry cash on me. But I just so happened to have some cash because of what I was going to purchase this day. And I went into the restroom, and there were two gentlemen. Yeah, I'll just put it at that. Two dudes ran up on me. One of them pulled a knife in the restroom. They were going to rob me for my money. I have been taking martial arts since I was maybe 6. Now, I am not an everyday practitioner. However, martial arts, for the most part, is like riding a bike. It doesn't go away. Now, that does not mean that I am ready to take on the cast of Cobra Kai. But when it comes to defending myself, when it comes to fighting for my honor or my life, which both of them may have been at jeopardy at this point, I haven't forgotten a single thing. I figure as long as it's less than 4 people and there are no guns involved, this ain't what you want. That day, just on what was going on in my life, I had some aggression to get out. I had I don't know, what do you say? I had some pent up energy. I beat the brakes off them 2 men. It wasn't even fair. And the thing is, when you're in the streets or whatever, this is not a tournament. We weren't fighting for points. We're not fighting for trophies. As far as I'm concerned, my life is on the line. I'm not pulling punches. I'm not pulling kicks. And I am vintage and fluffy as hell. I'm going for the immediate win. To me, if I punch you in the throat, you can't breathe, you can't fight. Is it dirty? Maybe. I don't know. But to me, it's about getting the W. I'm getting the win, and I'm going to live. So, yeah. Them dudes probably walked out there with several things broken on top of their pride. But they lived. I showed mercy. Hello, Governor. This is Rakai Steed, new from the Ville, and back to talk about Season 7, Episode 3 of Doctor Who, A Town Called Mercy. We're going to do a real quick recap of the episode. For some reason, the TARDIS takes the Doctor, Amy, and Rory to the American frontier, back to a little western town that's called Mercy. They find that there's a formation of rocks on the outside of the town and that no one can leave the town or enter the town because they're afraid they will be killed by someone who goes by the name the Gunslinger. And the Gunslingers demanded that they turn over the Doctor. Well, when the Doctor, Amy, and Rory show up, And the people of the town ask him, "Are you the alien doctor?" And he says, "Why, yes, I am." They knock him out and take him prisoner, put him in jail. When they arrive to the jail, the sheriff gets back and tells them that Kahler-Jex, an alien scientist, crashed on Earth years earlier. The townspeople rescued him, and in exchange for rescuing them, he did good works. He treated a cholera outbreak. He gave the town some sort of like primitive form of electricity many, many years earlier than what electricity was discovered. He did a lot of things that were technologically advanced for this little town called Mercy. And it just so happens that the sheriff, the marshal of the town, his name is Isaac, he was hesitant. He did not want to turn over the alien doctor, whose name was Kahler-Jex. He was from the word of Kahler, because of all the good that he had done in that town. So the doctor decides that he's going to go out to get the TARDIS, bring the TARDIS back into town, and get Kahler-Jex out of there so that the gunslinger doesn't have to kill him. But when he leaves, he comes across Kahler-Jex spaceship. And being in the spaceship, he sets off the alarms that alerts the gunslinger, but he taps into the databanks and finds out that the gunslinger is actually a cyborg from the planet of Kahler, and that scientists on the planet did horrible, despicable things to him to make him a cyborg. And one of those scientists was Kahler-Jex. And the gunslinger survived the war that they had on the planet, and he vowed revenge on the people who did this to him. And I think the last one to go is Kahler-Jex. Now this really angers the doctor. And he comes back to town, he grabs Kahler-Jex, and he throws him out of town. He throws him over that rock line. And the gunslinger is on his way to claim his prize. The doctor says that he's been betrayed by Kahler-Jex, that he did not tell him the truth. And Kahler-Jex says, "It's not that I didn't tell you the truth, I just didn't tell you everything." And the doctor says to him, "No, you are trying to make up for what you did." At this point, Amy is extremely upset with the doctor. And she said, "This is what happens when you travel alone." When he was out there traveling and doing things without Amy and Rory for an extended amount of time, and it's been months, maybe 10 months, almost a year. It's been a while since he's been with Amy and Rory. She said, "This is the kind of stuff you do." The gunslinger shows up, and just as he's about to kill Jex, Isaac pushes him out of the way and takes the shot from the gunslinger. Isaac gives the doctor his badge and tells him to protect his people, protect his town, protect the town of Mercy. The gunslinger says that everyone has until noon the following day to give him Jex, or he will do something dastardly. Jex talks to the gunslinger and says that he knows who he is, and he is remorseful for everything that he's done and all the death that his work caused. And he understands, and he couldn't even live long enough to make up for all that he's done. The townsfolk, they demand that the doctor turns Jex over, but he reminds them that Isaac's death won't mean anything if he does. Isaac died so that Jex could live. They come up with a plan. So Jex and his people have these crazy tattoos on their face. They kind of look like Mike Tyson. So all the townspeople who are in favor of not throwing Jex out, they put these tattoos on their face and they let the cyborg into town. But they're running all over the place to confuse the cyborg's sensors. This gives Jex a chance to slip out of town out the back way and get to his spaceship. But instead of taking off, Jex tells the doctor that he's ready to face the justice that he's eluded for all this time. And he causes the ship to self-destruct. The gunslinger doesn't think that he has any more purpose and he wants to go back to his planet. But the doctor tells him, "You do have purpose, And the doctor takes off Isaac's marshal's badge and puts it on Gunslinger. He said, now your purpose is to keep these people safe. Keep this town safe. The town called Mercy. You know that I like my quotes. The first one is from Abraham Lincoln, and he says, I have always found that mercy bears richer fruits than strict justice. The other one is from Alexander Pope, and he says, teach me to feel another's woe, to hide the fault I see. That mercy I to others show, that mercy show to me. Mercy is an important virtue. It is a way to show compassion, kindness, and forgiveness. It's an expression of love. The thing about mercy, though, is mercy is a choice. Sometimes it's hard to remove that hate, that anger from your heart. It's easy to say, you can be drawn into vengeance and, be drawn to evil. And sometimes it's not evil. Sometimes the acts that you do in vengeance can be evil. And mercy can absolutely backfire on you. But you have to make choices based on what you think is best, and mercy is a choice. Do you have it within you to let go of the hate, the hurt, the betrayal, the anger, the resentment that you might feel, and give another being mercy? Mercy's often been linked to compassion, justice, dignity, excellence, hospitality, and stewardship. Some say that mercy is a Christian value, even though I challenge you that mercy is in many of the world religions. That's not a Christian. They don't own that. It's about being able to be warm, thoughtful, and respectful to others, to show mercy. A lot of times being able to show mercy is shining a light on the darkness, to be able to get from behind hurtful words that are on top of a hurtful heart. Why did I show those guys mercy at the store, in that story I told in the beginning? Because at the end of the day, that's not in my character. I felt a certain amount of compassion and a certain amount of guilt. I was convicted after I beat these dudes' ass. Yeah, I know it sounds funny. It sounds weird, me even saying it. I'm not that guy anymore. I used to be. I was always, the funny guys, popular. I ain't starting no shit. But if you started it, damn it, I will end it. That is the dude I used to be. I could have done a lot of things. I could have fessed up, went to the store manager, told him what happened, waited for the police and made a report. But at the end of the day, I still realize I'm a black man in America. I'll get the hell out of there before they be taking my ass to jail for defending myself. And even though my thought at first was unbridled fury. But after I kicked the first dude's kneecap or the side of his leg, and we clearly all heard a very loud snapping, something came over me and I was just like, ooh. And it was a bit of compassion. I was like, ooh, I won't do these boys like that. Like, I imagine that right now he's somewhere walking with a severe ass limp. And he's remember that day that he thought he was going to be a jacker. We going to get the little fat ass black dude. You got the wrong one, baby. At any rate, the way this episode played out was like a spaghetti western. Famous for the Clint Eastwood movies and some of the other movies of the 70s and 80s. But the message is still strong about showing mercy. You can't buy your way into heaven. What do I mean by that? People go to church and they put a lot of money in the collection plate and they think that by doing that, that has bought them passage. And it will fix all the wrongdoing that they've done in their life. And it doesn't work like that. At the same time, you cannot just one day start doing a bunch of good deeds without actually, we've all done wrong. We've all sinned at some point in our life. What you have to know is that you have to repent, give up those evil ways, and try to do all the good that you can in our life. And just maybe at the end of your days, when they're weighing your heart on the scale against a feather or whatever it is that you believe, maybe it'll be enough. Maybe you are enough. Show love, show compassion, show mercy. This is Rakai Steed, new from the Ville. Make sure that you like, share, comment. Leave me a comment. Tell me that what you saw in this, I was right on or I was full of shit. What do you think about the episode? And if you've not subscribed, hit the button, subscribe now. I understand, I see like 70% of you watch these videos, but you're not subscribed. Watch some of these past videos. There's some gems in there, some real gems. It's gotta be about this. But more importantly, it's gotta be about this.